All right, right there and say, right down there and say, non-current assets are said to be held for sale. Non-current assets are said to be held for sale. If there is an intention to be held for sale, if there is an intention to dispose of the asset, there is an intention to dispose of the asset within a period of 12 months. There is an intention to dispose of the asset within a period of 12 months. In a period of 12 months. Full stop. Another ifn. However, the following conditions must be met. The following conditions must be met for an asset to be classified. As held for sale. The following conditions must be met for an asset to be classified as held for sale. So get your past papers. You want to make reference in 2020. I think that's 2020. Check for me November 2020. Something small there. November 2020, question 3B. November, make that reference. November 2020, question 3B. We're back. Yes. Question 3B of November 2020. We're back. What are they saying?
Discuss the conditions which must be present in order to classify an non-current asset as being held
for sale. So for you to classify an asset as held for sale, there are some conditions which must exist. Number one, unaona kama hizi magari naonanga hapo mbele imeandikwa hapo nyuma for sale. Wacha usikie conditions. Number one, the management must be committed. So these are the conditions. The management must be committed on a plan. Must be committed on a plan to sell the asset. Must be committed on a plan to sell the asset. Number two, the asset must be available for immediate sale. Number two, the asset must be available for immediate sale. Must be available for immediate sale. I want you to try something. I was told that I tried and I confirmed. Moso, you see these vehicles there. Ukiwa kwa matatu ya nyuma unaona mbele hii imeandikwa for sale. Just give it a call when you are there. That I saw this vehicle somewhere. It is being sold. Kama uko hapa Moyave ni utaambiwa, oh yeah, that is nice. You can what your story. But if iko Mombasa, iko hiyo gari, see hiyo inauzwa, is another one. In most cases, they are selling another one, but they are writing this one, a car for sale. Next, there must be an active, and of A, there must be an active program. There must be an active program to locate a buyer. There must be an active program to locate a buyer. Next, the sale must be highly probable. The sale must be highly probable. The sale must be highly probable within 12 months. Must be highly probable within 12 months. Next, the asset is being actively marketed. The asset is being actively marketed for sale. Being actively marketed for sale at a reasonable market value. Actively marketed for sale at a reasonable market value. Next, actions required to complete the plan. Actions required to complete the plan indicates that it is unlikely, indicates that it is unlikely that the plan actions required to complete the plan indicates that the plan is unlikely, indicates that it is unlikely that the plan will be significantly changed. It's unlikely that the plan will be significantly changed or withdrawn. It means equal. NB down there. Before we go to NB, that question, those conditions. Can you check all those conditions? Maybe if there is one you want me to expound. If there is none, then you can tell me randomly which number, which are the conditions for asset to be held for sale. You will write without any problem. Ile yako yenye umeshika, unajua lazima ushike yako. Wewe umekufa number 4 forever. Oh, to expound haya. Sasa nani gani wewe umeona inaingia na wewe kabisa? Number 2 na wewe mko pamoja. The asset must be available for immediate what? Sale, which is okay. Susan, explain number 6. Susan, ukisema you explain hizo zingine, which one have you mastered? Hata tukikutana kwa harusi nikuulize, you will not hesitate to answer. Which one? So you said number 4? Number 6. Hey, people are different. Imagine you number 4 yenye imekulemea, ndio Susan amesema hiyo ndio atashika kwa maisha yake. So inafaa wewe kwa mtihani ukae karibu na Susan, ndio? Yenye inakulemea ndio stronghold yake. So number 4, the sale must be highly probable within 12 months. That is very correct. You are not allowed. Actually, you cannot keep on. Hata kama wewe ni auditor, year 1 umeona mahali hapo kwa balance sheet, statement of financial position, there is an asset PP which they are classified as held for what? Held for sale. You know what the standard requires? When an asset is held for sale, it should be disclosed separately. We need not to recognize it in the balance sheet. So if it is recognized separately, every year, every year. So if it is classified as held for sale, at least it should appear there for one accounting period, which is 1 year. So see, at every year it is appearing there. When you use it, then
highlight using problem.
But sasa iko sawa. Then number 6, actions required to complete the plan indicates that it is unlikely that the plan will be significantly changed or withdrawn. It means once a decision had been made by the board, the board will authorize disposal of non-current assets. So once the decision had been made that the asset is supposed to be sold, then is equal a disclaimer that maybe or the sale
The decision has no reverse.
Yes, yes, that is. The decision has no reverse. Reverse what?
Yes.
Reverse gear. Venye tumesema inauzwa. Lazima ifanye nini? Iuzwe. So there is at work, then there is that possibility that it may not obey. So akina Juliet when you wamesema number 2, number 4, those ones I don't know what you mean, whether to be explained or those are the strongholds. So yeah. Number 5, the asset is being actively marketed for sale at a reasonable market value. Actually, the marketing and the rest, what matters there is always at a reasonable market value. So the asset held for sale should be at a reasonable price, which is the prevailing market value. Kwani kijarojaro mnataka ni explain zote, si ndio? Wenyewe msome hiyo. Najua kwa theory nyinyi mko serious.
Suppose you see the market, you are advertising within a year. Suppose there is our market changes. You see the management what they are selling. There is I can say a price they are what they are expecting, a minimum price. Suppose let's say for example we have decided to sell maybe 50 million because it is we are disposing of maybe the fund was set to make 100 and we are saying our minimum amount we should see is 50 million. Then within the 12 months when we advertise the price end up going below 50 million.
So that would always at market price. So in fact below ndio sasa at least nzuri. Our problem should be imeenda juu na already we have the value as report. Ilikuwa imeattach at 50 and what are bidders? Already ulishapeana na wameleta hizo pre-qualifications na price ulikuwa umeweka that trade. Now that is where the problem will be because you stand serious because sasa the market imeenda juu wewe already. But those are just normal technicalities which can be adjusted. Hata zinaongelelewa mnaenda hapo nje mnaongea hapo moyave. So if there are market changes, you just sit and negotiate casually. So Juliet anasema yenye atakumbuka kwa exam number 2. So it seems number 2 is better. The asset must be available for sale. NB, an asset, an asset classified as held for sale, an asset classified as held for sale should be recognized separately. Should be recognized separately in the statement of financial position. In the statement of financial position. In the statement of financial position. Full stop. Similarly, any expected loss stroke gain, any expected loss stroke gain on its disposal, expected loss or gain on its disposal should be recognized separately in the profit stock loss account. The profit stock loss account. Full stop. Let's not waste much time. Actually, the examiners, our examine held for sale, they normally examine this one here. The discontinued operation. That was the first time we saw them asking for something on held for sale, and I want to do with that question. So open that particular question, the November 2020 question 3B. There is a small computation there. Your page is page number 32. So page 32. Mwingine kona page? Yeah, 38. You're saying 38? 32. Yeah, 32 or thereabout. 37 or 37. Kama una 32 and 37. Alice, your number 6 tumesema ni reverse gear. Charles hapa amesema once you have made a decision to sell, there is no reverse gear. Meaning hautaki kuuza with shingo upande, sio? Niuze tusiuze. So once a division has been made, there should be, you should not have another option that no, we may or we may not. So let's go to November 2020, question 3B. Question 3B. So it says, and I read, Uzamat Limited is a long-established retail entity, which has been operating through a network of retail outlets and an online store. In recent years, the business has seen its revenue from the online store grow strongly. At CC, we have seen our online classes growing strongly, and that from retail outlets, come here physical, decline significantly. That's true. So that's how things are working nowadays. Squeeze hata watu to meet for physical meetings. Ni ngumu. Ama? It's hard. Online. On 25th June 2019, and you mean asemanga, everything which happens, there is always a good reason. There is nothing which can happen completely without a good reason. Because, sorry to say, because we lost some of our relatives. Lakini through COVID, tumejua hii online. Hii ungesikia COVID ikianza, then at online. How do you teach a FAR online? How possible? And number one person to oppose was me. How can you even teach? Ikianza watu wengine walikuwa unafanya hesabu unaenda unaweka kwa kamera, watu wa copy. Serious resistance to change. So now online has grown strongly. On 25th June 2019, the board of Uzamat Limited decided to close the retail network and the financial year ended 31st December 2019 and put the building up for what? For sale on that date. So that building will be classified as held for what? Held for sale, that building. But the retail has been done what? Discontinued. They have discontinued the retail business. Then the building where the retail was taking place has been classified as held for sale. The directors of Uzamat are seeking advice regarding the treatment of the building in the statement of financial position. Your treatment will be straight. The building should be classified as held for what? For sale. As well as the treatment of the trading results of the retail division for the year ended 31st December 2019. Treatment of the retail, once you have discontinued an operation, you don't have to tell us the trading results. Trading results means to recognize revenue, all the expenses. No, you just tell us how much profit or loss you got from that business up to the date when it was done what? Discontinued. So you don't show the operational results. You just give us the profit or loss you made up to the date of discontinuation. The following figures have been provided. So carrying value of the building, fair value, less cost to sell of the building. Then there is other expected cost of closure. Hizo cost of closure inaweza kuwa kama gani? Kuambia vijana wakutolee vitu kwa hiyo building. Ipakwe rangi. All those things. Those are closure costs. Year ended 31st December 2019. So these are the trading results. So for online and we have for retail. Online store 2019, they made profit before tax of how much? 16, while retail made a loss of 300. In 2018, online made a profit of 13, retail made a loss of 200. So that is required. In the context of Ifrs 5 and current assets held for sale and discontinued operations, discuss the conditions which must be present in order to classify. Kila mtu anajua yake. 2, draft the statement of profit or loss for Uzamat for the year 2019, together with the comparative for 2018, taking the above information into account, 8 marks. So they want us to prepare P&L for 2019 with comparative of 2018. So wangesema too straight, prepare for 2019 and 2018. So comparative means you do P&L for 2019 and also you do for 2018. So right there, user marks, limited, statement of profit, stop loss for the year ended 31st December. So let's prepare them in 2019 and 2018. So in the presentation, we want to present both, we want to present the operational results. So here we have two. We have operations which relates to continuing operations and the ones which relates to the discontinued. So you have to separate them. You have to separate them. Hata tukienda function in a country, watu wa Nairobi wanakwanga together with others. Si hata soda ya watu wa Nairobi inatengwa mahali. Then watu wa ushago wanakuja wanajimix na watu wa Nairobi. Then wao kutolewa inakuanga rahisi. How do you separate them from others? Hapana, that is bad man. Uwezo waambia hapo iko wageni. Hapana, uwezo ita hapana. You do it professionally. Unawaambia hii tent na watu wanashakula. Full stop. Na watu wa Nairobi wananga mbio ya kukula. Haya. So you start with the ones which are continuing first. So continuing operations. Continuing operations. So you start with the results of the ones which are continuing. I would be specific here to say continuing operations. Which one is continuing? Online, yes. Online stores. So online stores is the one which is continuing. Then the one which has been discontinued will come after we are done with the results of continuing. So continuing, you will be giving us 2019 with the comparative for 2018. So revenue. Revenue 2019 online 39, 2018 32. Cost of sales 13, 2018 11. Therefore, gross profit we have 26, we have 21. Operating cost 1, this other one 8. Therefore, profit before, so don't write for me profit before tax, you write profit from continuing. Profit from continuing operations. So profit from continuing operations, this is 16, and this one is 13. Then the one which has been discontinued, what the standard requires, don't show us their trading, but just give us the profit or loss which you got from the one which has been discontinued. So you come here and say profit stroke loss on discontinued operation. Profit stroke loss on discontinued operation, that is retail. stores. 10 stores. So you bring it here. So check, but don't post. When did they discontinue? That discontinuation, it took place in which year? Some Apple, where the building was what? Which year? 2019. So discontinuation took place in 2019. So in 2018, check 2018, retail. 2018, retail made a loss of how much? 200. So bring that 200 here. You subtract that 200. Then in 2019, from operations, they made a loss of how much? They made a loss of 300. But now there were so many issues because even the building was being classified as held for sale and some costs were to be incurred. So I have a small working outside here. You say profit stroke loss on discontinued operations. Discontinued operations 2019. 2019. So from operations, normal operations, you're saying they made a loss of how much? They made a loss of 300. Then the building which we want to dispose, which is being held for sale, what is its book value? The book value of the building, carrying amount 2. But the fair value is how much? 1720. So it means when we dispose the building, already we are sure there is an expected loss. Because book value is 2, but it can only fetch 1720. So expected loss on disposal building, we expect to lose here 2 minus 1720. So that loss will be classified under discontinued because the building and the retail were one and the same. But they started the classes now 3, 3. I think moving into the future and see I'll talk to those other teachers. Wafunze during the week, alafu Saturday ikweni ya fun the whole day. Sasa naona mko soba. Compared to these other days. So you are saying we are expected to lose how much? 80. Then there is also other expected cost of closure. So expected cost of closure, that is 390. So from discontinuation, we expect to lose that much. Oh, it can disadvantage those who are working on Saturday. Oh yes, there are also people who pray on Saturday. Lakini wajakwaya akiingia itakuwa sawa. Because when wajakwaya comes, they say everybody who is working, kama when you employ, you must ensure 24 hours. So kutakuwa na class ya mchana na class ya usiku. So kama huwezi kuja day class, unakuja night, the whole night. Do you think it can work? It can. Very well. Yes, customer care wanafanya kazi usiku. Even some companies. Yes, so unafanya na shift. Sasa kuna walimu wa mchana na walimu wa usiku. Hiyo ya usiku utasikia tu walimu ndio tu unavoidable. Lakini nyumbani anasema anaenda class, ndio? Kila siku ni unavoidable. So here is 900 and what? So you bring it here. 970. Therefore, consolidated, that one will remain a profit. Consolidated net profit before tax. We are negative net profit. So that one and that one there. Me, I know there is nothing which is impossible. Everything is possible because do you know when not online, early morning classes when they were being introduced, that was in 2013. When you come up with that idea, what do you want to you expect students, because classes were starting at 8:30, day and evening. You expect CPA students to be here by 6 in the morning. It was opposed. Right now, some early morning classes have more students than even evening. Day walishinda day kitambo sana. Tena kidogo ingine ikakuja ikakuwa opposed. But that one even me I refused. Late night. Kuna kwa ingine ilikuwa inaitwa late night. Late night unangoja watu evening wakimaliza ndio class ingine inaanza. It used to run up to 10. That class was interesting. It was meant for bosses, boss mwenye hataki employee ama tuseme mkubwa wako job hataki ajue kumbe hujamaliza hii kitu. So wanangoja ukishaenda, unajua kuna online they have to come. Ukishatoka ndio anakuja. Naingia. Ile kulala ilikuwa kwa hiyo class. So interesting. So that is it. Just in case they ask something like that, we'll find it. Right for me there, discontinued operations. Discontinued. Kuna. Wakisema tuta tax. Right for me there, discontinued operations. Discontinued operations. You say a discontinued operation. We are writing a discontinued operation arises. A discontinued operation arises when the parent company has disposed the entire shareholdings, or part of the shareholdings, or part of the shareholdings in an investee company. Let's not go to investee. Investee will be very general. It must be a subsidiary. In a subsidiary company, has disposed the entire shareholdings or part of the shareholdings in the subsidiary company. Full stop. Another friend, such disposals may lead to the subsidiary becoming a joint venture subsidiary becoming a joint venture, stroke associate, stroke associates. Full stop, full stop, full stop. Another hyphen down there. The main concern is on how to determine. The main concern is on how to determine the gain stroke loss. Is on how to determine the gain stroke loss. The gain stroke loss arising. Gain stroke loss arising on disposal of the shareholdings. Disposal of the shareholdings in a subsidiary. Full stop. Full stop. Down there, this should be determined as follows. This should be determined as follows. So have this format. How do you determine when you have disposed of a subsidiary? You need to tell us whether you have gained or you have lost. But it depends. In reality, will people tell you how much loss they made or gained? When you had a company now, you're a subsidiary, then you sell the subsidiary. Will you be comfortable telling people how much you have gained or how much you have lost? Chance you can't say no. The answer is it depends. Yeah.
They will say so that a loss just for you.
It depends. It depends. It depends on who you are addressing. Yeah? Address. Ulikuwa na deni yake unamwambia nimepoteza. It depends on the part you are addressing. So the gain stroke loss, you will determine it in two ways. One, right for me, Roman 1, gain stroke loss in the financial statements. Gain stroke loss in the financial statements of the parent. So in the parent books, the parent must check whether they gained or they lost, and this is what they will do. They just take the proceeds. The proceeds on disposal. How much did they receive? Then they less the investment disposed. So how much did you invest in that subsidiary? We invested 5,000. You have disposed it for how much? 10. We have gained 5. As simple as that. So if the examiner tells us to get gain or loss in the books of the parent, just check proceeds is the amount which has been received, less whatever they had invested initially. Then, now that is in the books of the parent. Then when we go to consolidation, so gain stroke loss in the consolidated statements. So now that is for the group. So it is normally done in two ways.
Excuse me.
Yes.
In the gain or loss, there is a concern. I have concern here in that investment disposed. Supposing you see this is an asset some years ago, and there was some devaluation that has.
Oh yes, the current investment.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to just the initial one.
Not the initial. No. The current investment. Yes. Because you will invest in
it is due to valuation impact.
Yes. So una ile current as per now. Then shillings there. Again, proceeds on disposal. Proceeds on disposal. You will add. You add fair value. You add fair value of investment retained. fair value, fair value, fair value of investment retained. How much? Mebakisha hapo. Then you less unimpaired goodwill disposed. Ile goodwill yako haikuwa impaired na ukauza. You also less the net assets you have disposed. Net assets disposed, the current one, we are saying. Then you less dividends. Dividends and disposed. So the difference there will be a gain or loss depending on what you have. So in the consolidated, you take the proceeds. If they are in that, whatever you had invested, if there is something you have returned back, you add it back also as part of the proceeds. Then you less unimpaired. If you had goodwill, not if you had, of course you will be having goodwill. So the goodwill which you had and you disposed of with the company, that one you subtract. Then you also less net what? Your net assets which you are selling off. If there were dividends you earned and disposed, because when you are selling the company, we normally sell come what? Come div. So you subtract those dividends. Then you will report gain or loss. So in the consolidated financial statement, you will take this one here. But in the individual books of the parent will recognize that amount. Let's go to illustration. Now, kwa group accounts, the sitting, one of the hotspot is disposal. The very hotspot is disposal of subsidiaries. Big kid. So 2020. Last sitting, last sitting was foreign, eh? It's 2020. 2021, ile walileta ile normal. So 2021 December. Yes. So go to December 2021. So last semester ilikuwa foreign. So December 2021 should be that one. December 2021. See your pilot. Pilot ilikuwa foreign. Umepata? Actually, I got it. Mine is page 14. I don't know yours is which page. 7. So kama uko kwa page 7, uende kwa page 14. Pareto, number, and Dafu. Those are the group members. Pass. You're there. So this is December 2021. This one. Allow me to read. It says Pareto Limited is the holding company of a listed group of companies with its year ended 30th June 2021. Pareto Limited has made a number of acquisitions and disposal of an investment. The following summarized draft statement of financial position relates to the group companies for the year ended 30th June 2021. So we have Pareto, Pamba, and Nafu. These companies in which region of Kenya? But all they are in Kenya. Then because. Okay, additional information. On 1st of October 2020, these books are when? 30th June. So na kuna kizungu nataka kuweka ni wasukue nayo mpaka ukienda kwa mcheli utakuwa unasikia ikitembea. When it comes to disposal, the main concern is the period. Hiyo period ni ina mess students. Period. So be very keen when it comes to period whenever there is disposal. So on 1st October 2020, Pareto Limited acquired an 80% equity interest in Pamba Limited when its retained earnings stood at how much? 35. The purchase consideration comprised 1250 million of Pareto Limited shares with a nominal value of 1 shilling each and a market price of 6.8. At acquisition of Pamba, the only adjustment required to the identified net assets of Pamba Limited was for land, which had a carrying amount of 625 million less than its fair value. Is that revaluation gain or revaluation loss? Yeah?
Loss.
Sure. Land had a carrying amount of 625 less than the fair value. See you again. I'm going to do less. That is a revaluation gain. Because how do you get a gain? When the market value is higher than the book value. So from that kizungu, si fair value iko juu. Yes, so that is the revaluation gain. The group's policy is to measure the non-controlling interest at fair value. At the date of acquisition of Pamba, the non-controlling interest had a fair value of 21.25. So mnajua kwenye itatumika. Pareto Limited had acquired 100% equity interest in Nafu Limited a number of years ago, when the retained earnings amounted to 1750. At acquisition, the fair value of the identifiable net assets of Nafu approximated their carrying value. There was no revaluation. The purchase consideration comprised cash amounting to 5750 million. That note is not very new to us. Pareto Limited disposed of 60% of investment in Nafu. Nafu, they had acquired what percentage? 100. They have disposed of 60. They are remaining with 40. So you have to be careful now from there. They were controlling 100. At 100, Nafu was a subsidiary. Sure. They have disposed 60, they are remaining with 40. Nafu has become associates. Yes. So on 1st April 2021, for 4,700 million. 4,700 million is the proceeds. Proceeds. So 4,700 is the proceeds. When the fair value of the identified net assets of Nafu Limited was 6250. The fair value of the remaining 40% equity interest was 43 million at disposal. Pareto Limited has not accounted for the disposal. So we know that's why they are bringing it, so that we account for it. None of the companies had issued any shares since Pareto Limited acquired its shareholdings in them. Neither the goodwill on acquisition of subsidiaries nor the investment in associates had been done what? Impaired. And they can compare the better. You were impairment, we don't even want. So that is even better. Okay, required. Let's go to required. Required, 1, goodwill arising on acquisition of the investment in subsidiaries, 4 marks. So kama ulikuwa unasema wewe si mtu wa goodwill, goodwill leo imekungoja. Then B, gain or loss arising on disposal of the investment in Nafu Limited as reported in 1, the individual financial statements of Pareto, then the consolidated statement of profit or loss. So I've shown you how to get the gain in the individual books and also how to calculate the gains for consolidation purposes. And finally, Consolidated statement of financial position. I want to caution you, for disposal, you will not see me in any group question trying to come up with those structures. I consider them a complete waste of time. But for disposal, you have to. Nyenyekea vizuri. You analyze that question properly. Come up with a structure before disposal, after disposal, come up with the number line. Chora your financial period. Because you see it was a subsidiary, 100%. Still, ikasonga up to somewhere, tukauza, ikakuwa associate. You know, associate and joint ventures, we are not supposed to consolidate for them. So it means the profits, income and expenses of that subsidiary will be accounted for proportionately from the date it was a subsidiary up to the date of disposal. So you will apportion, you will time apportion up to the date it was disposed. So you need to know. So for disposal, please analyze. Take even 10 minutes to analyze. Once you analyze the pattern, you will get what someone should do, what should get. So unajua kuna vitu watu wapati hapa, but kuna vitu obvious. Pareto Limited acquired the two of them. So niandikia hapa before disposal. This is before disposal. Papa, what percentage? They had acquired Papa 80%. At the same time, they had acquired Dafu also. What percentage? 100%. Then after disposal, how is the structure? Pareto still around here, controlling what percentage in Pamba? Still 80. But in Dafu has been disposed. So after disposal, parent will be controlling what percentage? So they disposed of 60. So we'll be having 40. Have that. Then financial year that is now the key thing here. Financial year is the key issue. Because ukipotea kwa hii number line ya financial period, utamess the entire question. Baka unashindwa umerudiaje fellowship na hii kitu ulifanya vizuri. Neo months, whenever there is disposal, you have to be very keen, with the periods. So how do you start that number line? Check the required, the year ends. When is the year ending? The year is ending on 30th June 2021. 30th June 2021. So for the financial year to end on 30th June, it must start when? Unaangalia kesho. Then you backdate. So this is 1st July 2020. So the one which was disposed, you will consolidate for it. It was a subsidiary. You will consolidate for it up to the date of disposal as a subsidiary. Then after disposal as what? Associates. So let me start with Pamba before niende kwa Dafu. Pamba was not disposed. So my interest in Pamba will be, when was it acquired? If it was acquired before 1st July 2020, then I will not have any problem. Then income and expenses will be taken in full without apportionment. So can you check when Pamba was acquired? Which year? So Pamba acquired. Pamba was acquired on 1st October 2020. So for Pamba, we agreed when you acquire subsidiary within, in the P&L, you only take the costs. Sindio? Shida zao, shida yenye walikuwa nayo before, that is their own problem. In fact, naweza waambia hata hizo shida nilifanya mkatafuta tuanunue, sindio? So this one is not your problem. Because now you have refused to take the responsibility before, even their revenue, you should not be concerned. Lakini human beings wanaweza kuwa funny. Shida ilikuwa before tuachane na, lakini profit income we can talk about. If you can't talk about the expenses. So the rule is, if acquired in within, we only go for the post acquisition. So how many months? So Pamba will be accounted for how many months? Usichukue 6 months kwa mkono. Afadhali mtu neighbor kwa mtiani aone you are not serious, but you know what you are doing. Hata zikikuwa mingi uongeze mpaka na za miguu. Hiyo kitu tunaona hai. Hebu chuna neighbor.
October, November, December, January, February, March, April, May, June.
Online, someone is saying the board is not clear, but the person who has called me, somebody is outside the country, so I don't know whether it is outside the country or it is not clear. So those who are online within the country, is the board clear?
Not clear.
Something is not clear. So what do? We wipe the camera, but I don't think. I don't think if the camera is the problem. It's just a lot of lighting. So how many months? So someone is sending what is not clear. We are trying that. It becomes clear. Mtu wa 8 akusubmit wote inakuja 8. October to December 3, sio? January mpaka June 6. 3 plus 6 9. So good. So it means andika hapo chini Pamba is equals to 9 months. Actually, hii ndio swali, hii analysis. Once you analyze here that question, you will get the gettables. Gettables ya kina. So P&L you will utaanguka to because of adjustment, but those without adjustments you will get. So Pamba is equals to 9 months continuing subsidiary. Correct. Let's go to Dafu. Dafu. Okay, first of all, Dafu vitu mbili. When was it acquired? Then when was it disposed? So can you check for me where they mentioned Dafu being acquired or that story? Number of years ago, so even before that. During this year, that's somewhere. Yes, so it means it was before even this. Yes, this year. So Dafu 1, when we started, Dafu was there. So your concern will be, when was it disposed? Yes. So can you check the date when Dafu was disposed of? 1st April 2021, somewhere here. Sure. Yes, it was disposed here. Dafu disposed. 1st April 2021. So when Dafu was disposed, it has been disposed somewhere here. When Dafu was disposed, you check from the beginning up to that date. Dafu was a subsidiary. Sure. Then from April to there, it has become what? Associate. Associates and joint ventures are not consolidated for. So we are going to ignore DAFU for this period. We will consolidate for the period it was a subsidiary. So DAFU is how many months subsidiary from there to there? 10, 9. Which is which? Akimzirudi hapo because alimechimba kwa hesabu months. Hesabu vizuri. 1st April, excluded ama included? Excluded. So hesabu April. The 9 months, eh? So the 9. Yeah. 9 months. So DAFU is 9 months. Subsidiary. Comma. How many months associates? 3 months. Ama kutoka April to June. Just get 6 minus 2. The whole of April, the whole of May, and the whole of June. So 3 months. 3 months associates. You know, we are Africans, and Africa is our business. In Africa, people believe in witchcrafts. Now, waganga ni wabaya. But since all the time waganga ni wabaya, utasikia mimi mwalimu FR, especially group, hiyo kitu nilifanya. Unaweza kufikiria vitu mingi, ama kuna shosho anakuwa karibu na hapo. Hataki alisikia anafanya accounts. Can she be against? Hapana, saa zingine hata ana hiyo kitu kama hiyo kwa mind. Ni wewe watu wakiandika 9 wewe unaandika 10. Mganga anaingilia hapa. Yameroga akili hapo. So wengine wachukua shortcut. Yeye anaona kuhesabu kutoka Julai mpaka huko ni pale. So anafanya hivi, anasema wacha nichukue hii na hii then the difference. Alafu yeye anachukua 6 minus 4 2, so hii ni 10. Na maliza story wapi? Haya, so how are we going to consolidate for P&L? So when we be doing P&L, it will be P for Pareto. So you take the income of P plus EP ingine ya Pamba, but Pamba you will apportion how many months? 9. So no, 9 over 12 because it was 9 months what? Subsidiary. DAFU was also subsidiary for how many months? 9. So even DAFU you will take for you will take for how many months? 9. So in the P&L, that is what is going to happen. For balance sheet, CSMP, Consolidated Statement of Financial Position, you will take Pareto, P, you will take Pamba, also in full. Balance sheet, you don't apportion. Full, without apportionment. DAFU will not appear there. Utachukua tu investment peke yake. You will only take investment of the associate. Because it was 3 months associate. Unaweza apportion motor vehicle for 3 months. It's impossible. So once it has become associate or joint venture, you don't consider them in the balance sheet. So in the balance sheet, I think I have video one. In the balance sheet is only P plus P. Me hata nikijua mtihani siwezi kulikia, but if someone is to leak for you exam, you know it is easier giving someone exam mtu amesoma, sio? Giving someone exam kama hii swali, mtu akishakupea hii, unaona hii hapa amekumalizia hiyo swali. This one here. Lakini sasa wewe hata umepewa hii, unashindwa. Ama hii ndio answer. This is the heartbeat of that question, this one here. Here. So in the profit account, P in full, Pamba you take for 9 months, then P also 9 months. In the balance sheet, DAFU should not be there. It has become associate. Full stop. Full stop. So whenever there is disposal, that analysis, actually when we go to presentation, this is what the examiner always tries to check. But so let's go to the required. We do the required. So what is the issue? Let us log. Mwalimu, let us log out, then we log in before we go far. What does that one mean? Kuna shida? Why? We log out all of us, then they log back again. When you log out, log out, then maybe I try to check this board issue. What can be done? Julius. But I think what was there online. Oh, my God, like. You're not right. Okay. Which gadget are you using? Which gadget are you using? It depends with the internet. But they are saying the board is now clear. We have not done anything. So maybe you check your internet on your side. All right, so let's go to required Roman 1. They want us to calculate what? Goodwill. So when goodwill is required, it is as part of required, then anything you will post will be marked. So useme today goodwill. Hii sipatangi, hata ningangane aje sipatangi. Wacha niachane nayo, hapana. Anything you post, si unajua formula? Si ni purchase consideration. Hata hiyo ukiandika utapata marks. So don't lose marks because wewe ati goodwill zote umeifanya kwa hii dunia hakuna yenye umewahi pata. Sasa unaona there is no need. Post hata hiyo purchase consideration peke yake, it will give you a mark. So they want goodwill for all the companies. Some required. Subsidiaries, yeah. So they want us to calculate goodwill in both Papa and now. Yes. So let's calculate goodwill. I think one way I want to help you through the board, my pens to be refilled properly. So, what's that together here? Ink. I think ink can make the board to be more clear. Meanwhile, let's proceed. So you say goodwill. I also increase the font. So goodwill, Pamba, let's have Pamba here and have Dafu here. So shillings are in millions. Shillings are in millions. So let me mute noisemakers. So purchase consideration. Where they are to God will bring those things. Purchase consideration or consideration paid, whichever makes you happy. Purchase consideration. Let's go to the note where Pamba was acquired. Note number 1. On 1st October, Pareto Limited acquired 80% interest in Pamba. When its retained earnings was that, the purchase consideration comprised 1250 million of Pareto Limited shares with a nominal value of 1. Nominal value is the par value each, and a market price of how much? 6.8. So the purchase consideration was not through cash. They gave out what? Shares. So what you do, how many shares did they give? Then multiply with the market value, not per value. You multiply with the market value. Full stop. So how many shares did they issue? What was the market value? Multiply. $8,500. That is 8,500. Was there? I'm not going to that way. Give it to me. Dafu was acquired in which note? Note 3. Pareto Limited had acquired 100% equity interest in Dafu a number of years ago. When its retained earnings was that, at acquisition, the fair value of the identifiable net assets approximated their carrying value. The purchase consideration comprised cash amounting to how much? 57.50. The unit of 57.50. Was there any subsidiary where NCI was stated at fair value? It was one. Which one? Note 2. Check note 2. The group's policy is to measure the non-controlling interest at fair value. At the date of acquisition of Pamba, the non-controlling interest at a fair value of 21.25. For fair value of the speakers, 21.25. Therefore, I don't think if there was fair value, they did not have. So can you add this, add that, call it A. This is 57.50. How about this other one? 10.720. 10.625. Yes. Up to there, out of 4, which is because of 1 mark. We proceed. Less net assets. So less net assets acquired. Where are they got net assets? Look, here they don't mark it. Net assets bring ama they can say. So let's check. If they don't give us, we'll have to state them one by one. Note 1. The purchase consideration was that? No. Okay, so you know what to do. And the ordinary share capital. Net assets are the equity components. Ordinary shares, check their balance sheet. Shares are just constant. So we just go to the balance sheet, take ordinary share premium, retained earnings and evaluation and utafute huko. So ordinary is how much? 25, and the other one 2,000. Share premium, how much? 1 and 500. Retained earnings, can you check for the retained earnings on the date of acquisition? On the date of acquisition. Note 1, when we acquired Pamba in note 1, what was their profit? That usually 35. Note which one? Note 3, when we acquired Dafu, can you check for me the retained earnings? 1750. There was revaluation somewhere on the date of acquisition. So revaluation, note 1, note 1, paragraph 2. There was revaluation of land, 6.25. There was no revaluation that other side. Unless there is something, net assets. Add. Anything you post will be marked. But mostly utapatanga the evaluation gain. We don't want to acquire people whose assets are worthless. How much? The first one is? You know very well that net assets should be done what? A portion. But in Pamba, we are not going to apportion because there it is full method. The full NCI is already there. So you cannot take 80%. You only take 80 if it is partial, if we don't have the fair value of this. So this one you don't apportion. Our work has been made easier. This is the one you are supposed to apportion. You take the percentage of parent. But parent was controlling what percentage? 100. So the time you have to modify 100. So when I say a percentage of shareholdings, this one I'll take 100. After you give sure. You know you're supposed net assets, you're not supposed to take everything. You take what you control. But if it is full method, you know this parent controls 8 and this one controls 20. See you that. So you don't apportion. This one here, the parent is controlling 100. So because what I'm saying. So there is no need. The difference, goodwill. Goodwill is A minus B. Goodwill is A minus B. Question. Alafu mtu analiku jina ya goodwill. Hey, it was dangerous. What is dangerous there? Imagine mjani itakuwa tu hivyo. Hiyo kesho itakuwa the same. Hakuna kitu kingine kwa kupaka. Unless customer we change that FR itakuwa examining Kiswahili. Najua wenye watadrop wa kwanza, sio? Bali si Tanzania they teaching Kiswahili.
Whenever you are considering shareholding, you still each on the date of acquisition.
The net assets.
Yeah.
Net assets on the date of acquisition. Goodwill must be computed on the date of acquisition. Then you impair as time goes by. So all those items must be on the date of acquisition. That's what. Yeah. Umeelewa? Nimekuwa nauliza. Iko sawa? Huyo Otiso Charity. Kuna maneno. Ati tumeenda break. Hatujaenda, usikunywe chai, bado tuko hapa. We are here. So goodwill is how much? 3 and 15. That's 3, 15. How many marks? 4 marks. So how do you get the 4? The ticks will be here. Kwenye nimeweka tick ndio inamakiwa 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So this one has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6, 84. So this side you need 4 at a half. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 at a half. 2. So anything you post here will be marked. If you get 3, you still have 2. If you get 2, you have 1. If you have 1, you have 1. So hapa unaweza toka tu bure kabisa. Unafaa upate. You should get. See, unafaa upate na hii. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hata ukisahau hizo return done. Lakini unaweza toka alliance na umesahau return done. Kwa nini nimekupeleka kwa mtihani? Impossible. So hii najua tutapita. No problem. Let's go to Roman 2. My target is to do A, then we do B Roman 1 and 2. Then balance sheet we can do next. So B, gain or loss on disposal of the investment in DAFU in the individual financial statement, then consolidated. Can you go back to the format? Just check the format I gave you some few minutes ago. Just check. So B Roman 1, gain or loss Individual financial statements of Pareto. So tell me how we go about it. You take the proceeds on disposal. So shillings are in what? Millions. Shillings are in millions. But it is important. According to you, should we be getting what you have scored? No. Because they are competitors. Normally do. ACCA, they tell you how the percentage you have scored. Should they be telling people what you have scored?
Yes.
But then what is your view? You know, now this is stakeholders engagement. Should they be telling people the maths? Me, I think yes.
Yes. Why?
Huh? To help, especially when you are meanzia huko chini. Ndio mtu aone, hey, I need to be serious. Mtu aone FR kama hiyo secretary ulisoma, yani hiyo karatasi ulikuwa sure. Unajua watu wanaweza mpaka wanajimakia. Ulijimakia mpaka ukaweka hapo sure bet 80. Lakini results kukuja umepita yes lakini 51. It means ukisonga mbele you need to be more serious. You increase your level of seriousness.
They just need to perform as a conversion rate.
Anna. In fact, according to me, Jonas anataka ranking. No ranking they do. They do ranking actually. They do from number 1 to number last, but that information is with them. With us, they only give us from number 1 to number 10. So that if your student is there, you can do what? You can congratulate them. They do the ranking. Hiyo ranking wasipewa wanafunzi. Imagine upewe ranking uanze kujiangalia. But the results they should. I think for credibility they should give results. They give you the results and marking scheme. Ndio mtu asiende remarking. Hapo ndio they can't. Ile cooking wanafanyanga hapo ndio mtu apite. But then for you to fail in very rare. Ukianguka customer ukianguka ukweli umeanguka. On very minimal chances. Watu wanasema kafia hiyo. Hapana. They really try by the way. Very. Kama hii group. You know kama hii formats wakipata hakuna mtu anapata. You know before marking they have to mark dummy papers. Dummy they photocopy from all the 47 counties. At least two. Then you mark. From those 47, you can be able to tell which question is bringing problems. So tukiona hiyo 47 ni good ila hakuna watu wanapata. Wamepata tu group moja. Wa alliance ndio wanajaribu kupata. Then they will say hapa this because of the international standards people must pass. So here waje tuseme mtu yote amepata 4 ticks kwa hii kitu yote. Hapo na 4 marks. Ama any two ticks times 2 4. So they normally try their level best to ensure that someone passes. That's a very nice question. At the center where you do exam, does it matter? The answer is no. Students normally let themselves. Ati hii kwenye unafanyia ushago utapita. Hakuna kitu kama hiyo. It works this way. When you are marking a center, to say, okay, the truth be told, when you go to a country, to say, sasa, wewe umetolewa hapa, umeenda up country, huko mashinani kabisa. You know, people in our country, they are disadvantaged somehow in terms of the resources we have here. So, Mtu akapa alliance nikiwapea cut saa hii. Tuseme mtu amepata 44 yeye ndio wa mwisho. Akienda pub country tunajua atakuwa number 1. Ama haya, wacha usikie jina alafu nyinyi ndio mtaniambia. Yeye ni Charles. Na wewe? Sema hii jina lingine. Ngetich. Na wewe ni? Hii nyingine. Otieno. So hapa tuko na Ngetich na tuko na Otieno here. Nani mnafikiria anaweza shinda mwingine kwa mbio? Kwa mbio ingewekwa hapa. Uka ni number 1. Straight away Ngetich kwa mbio ako sawa. Otieno atakuwa number last. Lakini Otieno akiwekwa ni example disclaimer. Otieno akiwekwa na cripples waanze kukimbia. Si Otieno atakuwa number 1. So Otieno akipelekwa up country yeye ndiye atakuwa sasa number 1. Kama yeye anakuwa number last hapa yeye ndiye atakuwa top scorer huko. So what happens when you are marking inakuwa in the just perception of the marker. Si ati lazima upite. Tangu anze kumark hizo envelope, tuseme hapo ndani envelope zimekuwa 40. Tangu anze from number 1 amefika envelope script number 27. Ameshinda hivi. Then amekutana na Otieno, at least ameona inaenda hivi. The pattern has changed. Attention yake inakuwa drawn kidogo tu. Anasema hii envelope kila mtu anaanguka. Sasa nikijaribu. Then napata Otieno anapata 45 anasema hapana, huyu acha nimfikishe afike 50. That is how you can pass. Ile perception of the marker, huyu at least amechange the pattern nilikuwa nimezoea. Unlike Nairobi. Nairobi now is different. Nairobi, you know, Nairobi students are taught almost by the same people. So markers wamezoea kitu kama hii. So akipata mtu anajaribu kuleta the other side, unaenda anguka mbio sana because students are almost Nairobi watu wachanangi na plus or minus 15. People ranges there. Up. People are the same. Hata sasa nikwambia mtiani mwezi atana na more than 15%. Mtakuwa hapo hivi.
But in case there is an error of the marker, I initially, I don't know whether it's
Yes, me I marked, but I stopped in 2019.
Today, not like for example, the way they mark yes, after marking they now pick
the real paper.
Then there is a TL sample. What we have done.
The TL, and the TL waangalia, the TL is the team leader. Pana, zidanganywa ati na makiwa na watu 20 hakuna. It goes this way. There is that team leader, the TL, and the markers. So inaenda hivi. Once the marker is marked, an envelope has to say maximum is 50 scripts. Wakipaka for example, mikifika 50, they go to the another level. So the rule is TL must sample at least 10% randomly. So 10% is 5. So anaenda tu kwa hiyo envelope anachomoa 5. Then ana go through the 5 anaangalia whether the marker is marking consistently. So akiona ana mark vizuri hiyo ingine. Kama kwa envelope, in that envelope you only 8 candidates in that room, he samples 0. Yes, hiyo kuna hivyo. So he does not check the entire. So after the team
grouping, they go as percent. I thought it is just a group of 50. They don't.
Si kwa hii class chukua 50 hivyo. So once the marker is marked, we are the sample. Akiona uko sawa, hata kuletea issue kama wewe ni rafiki yake. Una issue. Then from there it goes to a checker. Checker must be someone who is in the university or for 4 days. They don't know anything. Kazi yao ni kuangalia ndani na nje. Kama ndani marker alikupea 10/20, huku nje ameweka 10. Unajua kuna mwingine anakupea huku ndani 10/20 na huku nje anakupea hiyo question 1 na kuandikia 1. Because people are marking very fast to safeguard the money. So marker ataangalia huku ndani, the marks are located in and marks are located out, then they tabulate. Because from there inaenda kwa data entry, customer wenyewe wanaweka kwa system. So hakuna ati marking ati inafanywa na watu si ati marker 1, marker 2, marker 3. Marker ni moja. Ile ana mark kila akiangalia full stop. So sometimes maybe unaweza kuwa na 48. Ukiwa na 48, a good clear anasema ati huyu acha nipitishe. So kama sample yako imekuwa sample na ulikuwa na 48, hii mtu anakuweka 50.
Lakini pia tunataka if they find, let's say it's a pass mark.
You know what? How KCSE differs? You know how KCSE differs with CASNEP? KCSE is marked on what is called conveyor. You know conveyor?
Yes.
Conveyor means mimi nikiwa hapo na mark question 2 peke yake. Nikimaliza question 2 napea huyo mtu mwingine ana mark question 3. Ule mwingine question 4. But CASNEP nikishika karatasi yako number 1 mpaka mwisho. Hivyo. So that is how they differ. So kuna wengine wakiona tu handwriting mzuri wanakuwa excited. Anakuwa tu stick. Aliona unamwandikia vitu mbaya mbaya. Anakujulia from the word go. So, but that should not worry you. We don't have good handwriting and bad. You just make your work presentable. Alright, so Farida amesema so markers pia wakuwe wanawekwa kwa maombi. Kwani ukipita mtihani huwezi jua? Ama people are different. Me when I do exam nikianguka najuanga tu nimeanguka. Yes. Kwani hata kama unaenda interview ulikuwa umeapply job alafu ni kama kesho utaitwa. You cannot know by today.
After coming out of the interview, you know everything.
Maybe I can know. Unaona saa hii mnafanya exam 1st August. I know marking will not take place because of the election. Maybe from the 11th. So between 11 mpaka 24th, hapo you can tell. Ukikaa tu umetulia hakuna kinakusumbua umekaa kwa nyumba una watch screen. Then all of a sudden umeshtukia tu umesmile na unajua you smile imetokea wapi? Kuna mtu amekuwekea mahali. Lakini ukishtuka tu na toa hiyo glass hapo. Kwani mnaga hizo instinct? You don't have. They happen. Eh? Apart. Hakuna kitu kama hiyo. Those instincts are there. Ama those days, let me assume everyone who is here now ameshapita hiyo level. Those days when people were still in campus and dating. Alafu nani amepelekwa lani na mwingine. So you can tell where you are.
Yes.
Yes, that instinct will always be there. So marking is very, but then they are very flexible. Very flexible. Watu walikuwa wabaya walishatolewa kitambo wako. Yeah, no longer there. Who rush for money?
Then there is some proceeding that some issue examination centers because they don't when they are not in there. They see they consider
A marker does not even care. Hata juangi sender na mark mpaka amalize akirecord the sender na oh this one was multi choice. Kuna sender na multi choice. Ndio unagundua baadaye. Si wewe umechukua tu envelope. Iko lakini you don't even. Yes, student are right lakini the markers don't even. Unaona ile haraka. Okay, what the people are being paid per paper. So unaona Charles ameshachapa envelope start. Wewe ndio uko envelope ya kwanza. Bado unangangana kusoma which interest do you have? And you don't know these people. You mark very fast your case baadaye. So where you do exam that don't even matter. And I'm not discriminating, I've seen it. I'm cautioning people from booking exams in these centers. Because it has affected our students before. There's all the centers in Kisii, I don't want anybody to book exam. For reasons which I don't know. Exam ikitoka zinakuwa withheld. Then you see region, I don't know the reason why. Another one is in Northeastern, which is called it's called what? There's a center. Northeastern, there's a center in Northeastern which is not good. And exam ikitoka zote zinakuwa withheld. Anybody who has passed must be checked. There's one thing, I don't know it's called. So kuna student wanatokanga tuache tuende Northeastern. Sisi ndio marginalized. Tunaenda kupiga huko.
I don't know whether it's not legal for the chapters.
So we booked to hapa Nairobi. Utapita si barabara Nairobi. Why are you shying away? Hebu tuangalie ile. Proceeds was how much? I remember. Proceeds was 47. Sure. Note number? Yes, note number 4. In note 4, the subsidiary was sold for 4,700. Yes, it was sold at 47. Where's that note 4? What? Oh. It was sold at 47. Yes. Then check for me. How much was the investment in that company? How much did we pay to acquire? The purchase consideration comprised cash of how much? 57.50. So that is what we invested in Dafu. Now you invested 57.50, and now you are selling it at how much? 47. So you less. Investment disposed. Whatever you had invested there, investment disposed. But you didn't dispose everything. You only disposed what percentage? 60. 57.50. How much is that? 60% of that. $34, 50. We gained, we lost. The investment you disposed at a value of 34. When you sold it, you got 47. We did what? So gain on disposal, how much? Are you sure? Not a 15 completion. Wale unafunga jicho moja. We gained value 50. Let's do the other one next class to connect na hiyo ingine. Oh, some people are asking when is the deadline for exam booking? 1st July. Make sure you are booked. I don't know whether they are charging people renewal. It depends. Huh? So when you wanalipiwa na employers na wazazi wafanya aje? Waitishe mpaka renewal. Eh? So unaitisha zote ukienda huko, it will depend. It can be again no loss. So tomorrow you have a holiday. Then we meet next week on Monday for this question. Thank you.
Before you get
Yes.